instrument I've been playing now for the last 10 years or so. This is the SELMER Reference 54. Truth was is that when I tried after the different SELMER saxophones came, after the Mark VI, because I never really played the Mark VI. I always played the balanced action, and then I skipped over the Mark VI and went to the super action. I didn't like the Mark VII, or I didn't play the Mark VII, but I did try the super action 80, both Series 2 and Series 3, and trying those, and then they came up with the reference series, the 54 and 36. And I kind of thought I would pick a 36 because it was supposed to be nearer to the balanced action sound. It was sort of like they went back to things, but it was like an improvement supposedly on the balanced action with intonation and air. And SELMER uses these rubber things in between in the joints here, which have made the horn blow much freer than they used to, because they used to be soldered there. Now there's a rubber and it seals it very good. So now the playing, because I like a free blowing instrument. Some guys like the resistance, for me I prefer the free blowing. So I actually thought that I would, because they told me that the 54 was closer to the Mark VI. But I found this one. I've tried about, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 saxophones and picked this one out. I have a different neck with it because I like to, the neck, it makes a big difference. And I'm very happy with this instrument, and I get quite the comments on the tone quality and everything, and it fits me. I think it's a beautiful instrument. Plays in tune, and it's free blowing for me. And the sound is, SELMER has a unique sound, but the thing that it does is it leaves room for your sound, within it, and that's what I like about it. You can shape and make your own sound. And that's very important in jazz, to be able to project your own unique style and sound. And so SELMER gives you that ability, that option. Pushing air, through it, to play louder. But the kind of breathe in the horn is like. Well, when I was younger, I thought that playing with stiff reeds was the best thing to do, or stiffer reeds, because people always said that, stiffer reeds are harder, they last longer because there's more wood in the reeds. And so they would play smaller opening mouthpieces so they could play a stiffer reed. But I'm from Chicago, and in the Chicago tradition, guys play bigger mouthpieces, bigger openings. Johnny Griffin, my father, Chico Freeman, he plays the SELMER, by the way, and all the Gene Ammons, and they played bigger opening mouthpieces. That's kind of like a tradition in Chicago, and so I kind of fell into that. So I have an 8-star mouthpiece out of Link that was worked on and opened up. So I would play a softer reed, and the thing is, found that to improve your technique, your phrasing, your speed, and everything, it doesn't matter about the reed being stiff or soft. What matters is the combination of the reed with the mouthpiece, that the reed and the mouthpiece responds quickly, and that you don't have to blow. You breathe, more or less. For me, breathing and filling up the mouthpiece rather than thinking through the horn is thinking of filling the mouthpiece up. As long as the mouthpiece is full, the air goes, and the airflow is much more pleasant and easier to control. Sort of like the difference between a breeze and a hurricane. You know, if you blow into the horn, hurricane, you know, the wind is hard and it's not pleasant. But when you a breeze, especially a steady breeze, is very pleasant and nice. And this, you get this kind of quality of tone. I find that all of the overtones and everything that's in the sound, it's easier to come out. You know, it makes it easier for that to happen. And so therefore, and with your mouthpiece, and just making sure that your embouchure is firmly wrapped around, you know, the mouthpiece and the reed, but not tightly. You're not squeezing down on the reed. You just, you know, just wrap so that there's no air that escapes. And then with the mouthpiece and reed responding and vibrating quickly, just filling, you know, I mean, full air support, but sort of, you know, filling up the mouthpiece and breathing, you get this full, rich, round sound that comes on. And your intonation is improved almost 100%, because you don't need to change your embouchure. You can go up and down the horn evenly and in tune. Let the horn find out. And that also helps that you tend to discover where the notes are on your horn and their pitch exactly. Maybe one or two notes might need a slight adjustment, but that's one good thing with the SELMER. On this saxophone, my intonation is very good from the bottom of the horn to the top of the horn with very minimal, if any, movement of my embouchure. I only move my embouchure if I want to make a particular kind of sound. You know, if I want to express a particular kind of sound expression, let's say. And if you notice, I went up and down the horn, but I didn't change my embouchure. And I do an exercise that helps me do that. Usually, the way you play the note B, concert A, or B on the B on the saxophone, doesn't matter if it's tenor, alto, but the B on the saxophone, the middle B. Is where your embouchure sets very well. So I try to play long tones there, you know, get my embouchure set when I practice as my warm-up. And then I do this. All the way up the horn like that, and then I do it the other way. Now the key to doing that is you set your embouchure on the B, And you always come back to the B because you go to each note because the idea is not to move your embouchure, not to change it. So you use the B as your reference. So you get that tone on B and then you go up to the next note and then come back. But and what you're thinking about is not changing your embouchure. And particularly when you go high, because very often young, novices and even professionals sometimes, they have a tendency to bite and close down when they get high. When they get up at when they go to the high notes, and that's the point. That's what you want to avoid. And if you do that, and I try to do that with a tuner when I practice this, so that I can make sure that I'm checking my intonation all the time. And it helps you. This helps you not only to keep your embouchure straight and play that way, and you be focused. And if you look at pictures of John Coltrane, videos of him, he stands like this. Hardly moves. Never, and all the great saxophone players do that. I saw that with Charlie Parker. The same thing, and I got that, and that works. And that's when I really found out how well in tune Selmer's played. You see, because when you don't change your embouchure, you have only no choice but to hit the note where the note is. You see. Without making an adjustment, in intonation. So if the note is in tune without you making an adjustment, that tells you how in tune the saxophone is, or that instrument is. Everything is more relaxed. And that's the key to most anything you do, is to be relaxed. Everything is more relaxed. And that's the key to most anything you do, is to be relaxed. Everything is more relaxed. And that's the key to most anything you do, is to be relaxed.